Welcome back. I interrupted you. I want you to finish, and I then want to...
I was just going to say, I think the fight against corruption is something that needs to unite us, the South Africans. And
it isn't at the moment.
It shouldn't be a matter of political contestation and scoring cheap points. But I do, in that spirit, though, just want to correct Mr. Maimane, to say that ANC and government have respected and have abided by the decisions of the Public Protector and many other Chapter 9 institutions. Ministers have been dismissed from cabinet. Senior officials in the civil service have been removed from their positions in all instances.
But then when you remove a minister, you put them back on the list.
No, however...
Why do you do that?
In contrast to that, where the Public Protector has made findings against DA administrations in places like Midvaal and Cape Town, those reports have been met with strident criticism and in many cases have been contested in court.
I'll deal with that, but can I just ask you this, because my viewers would want to. There's a criticism of your party which says if you're so committed to fighting corruption, why do you put people on the list who in fact have been found guilty by the Parliamentary Ethics Committee of complete malpractice? What signal does that send out, is I think the point being asked.
The position of the ANC is that we will abide by the dictates of the Constitution. That where someone is constitutionally ineligible to stand, that person will not be. But
that means they're going to be found guilty before a court of law.
Yes.
Yes, but that's a very low standard, with respect. Why can't we have a higher standard?
We have established an ethics committee, an integrity committee. And that committee
your colleague, Mr. Turok, Professor Turok, was extremely, when I heard him being interviewed in preparation as I read it again, was very upset by the fact that people that they had bothered to censure very seriously were suddenly back on the list. And he said the Integrity Committee wasn't doing its job. See, what I'm asking is, I'm not really interested in the particular case of Dina Pule. What I'm really interested in is what signals are we sending out? I'll come to your criticism of the DA, I promise you, but I just want to deal with you at the moment. How do you deal with that?
It sends out a very wrong signal.
No, the fact of the matter is that it's also a very delicate balance to tread. That
between what and what?
No, our commitment to fighting corruption and to sending out the correct signals, but at the same time also respecting the rights of individuals.
To do what?
More so where they have not been found guilty of crimes or where they have been accused of matters and those processes are not yet concluded. It is a very difficult...
Okay, we'll get back to that, but I wanted to give you an opportunity. Has the Public Protector not come out of this fairly unscathed, if I could put it that way, or am I wrong?
No, to a large extent, she has, because if you look at the press conference yesterday, it actually showed that government is coming. Actually, government actually said everything that they've said in the past. There was nothing new. But what's going to be important is what they do about the recommendations that contain.
Okay. Yes, sorry, Mr. Mone.
Is it a fire pool or is it a swimming pool?
Exactly.
It's a fundamental issue when it comes to this case, because here's an interpretation of how we view this thing. I mean, I can't understand that we can insult the intelligence of South Africans by calling a swimming pool, a 40,000 rand swimming pool that has now been escalated to cost over R1 million, and then argue the case that it's a fire pool. I mean, it's an insult to the intelligence of the people.
Fair enough, but let me put this to you. People out there listen to programs like this, and the real concern I have, since it's not for me to take sides here, but it is for me to be worried about the political integrity of the system. So when Mr. Nel says that your party, also when it's on the receiving end of the Public Protector, runs away, which is what he's saying.
Not at all. I want to talk about that.
Well, so I'm giving you an opportunity, because if you are doing that, then you know, there's another political party out there who's moaning and groaning about the president, but my understanding is that their leaders also got particular problems. I mean, what I'm trying to say is the public aren't fools either.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm trying to put to you.
Now, in the Public Protector, as was the case with the Nkandla report, the Public Protector tables that report, gives all the concerned parties an opportunity to respond, which is correct, as was the security cluster. When I come to the incident in Cape Town about the advertising of a tender, that report was tabled before Cape Town. Premier Helen Zille had then the absolute right to respond to that. And in fact, due to the processes of the Public Protector, she studied the report, she studied the inputs from the concerned parties, and in fact changed her view, as you could see that the report was different.
Yes. If I could just come in there
please.
to say, similarly, when ANC leaders have engaged with the Public Protector, there have been differences. That is not to say that we have rubbished the Public Protector. We have expressed views that might differ with hers.
Okay, let me ask this
But
question.
the fact of the matter is that at every single turn, we have reaffirmed the importance and the integrity of the institution and our commitment to abide by those processes. And I think what we're saying in our manifesto is that we need to build on that solid institutional basis that has been created, that has been supported, that we need to do things even better. We need to support those kinds of institutions even more. We need to put mechanisms in place to ensure that our tender processes are clean. That is why we're saying that there needs to be a centralized tender board. We are also saying that we need to deal with the thorny issue of private sector corruption.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And I think that's an area that we would like other parties'
Well, I'm
voices
going
to
to
be
ask you,
heard.
sorry, yes, Ms. Mani, and then I want to give Mr. Kara, yes?
Yes, I'm talking about 36 billion rands here that the AG's report is identifying as money that is wasteful expenditure. That's an incredible sum in our fiscus. But when I talk about, my question here fundamentally is that pending on the report of the public protector, is it then Mr. Nel's view that the project in Nkandla is being dealt with properly and that the respective individuals then who have been found guilty in the Nkandla report be withdrawn? Is there at least some conscious ethical view that says that something went wrong in Nkandla, and if there is, who then in the current administration will deal with it?
I'm going to give Mr. Nel an opportunity. He's lucky because I take an ad break. He can think about his reply whilst we're having a break.
News that moves. ENCA.com.